All right, so of course I was doing the Truck Series Championship preview and picks thing, and this news broke in the middle of that. By the way, the Truck Series Championship will be right after this, the preview, so if you are interested in that. But the counterclaim that NASCAR had done against 2311 and Front Row has been dismissed by the judge himself, Judge Bell. No, not Christopher Bell, Kenneth Bell. But okay, so there's a lot of court stuff. I don't understand legal terms. You got to understand, I don't know anything about the law. Anywho, when we look at this case, of course, it's been probably a year now. 2311 Front Row Motorsports did not sign the charter deal. They opted to instead sue NASCAR for accusing them of being a monopoly, right? Well, go down the road, a bunch of injunctions and a bunch of appeals and other legal stuff. And anywho, NASCAR decided to countersue the teams, and they went specifically at Curtis Polk, who is a co-owner in 2311 and also has been business partners with Michael Jordan for a long time. It decided to go at him directly in saying that, well, there's a conspiracy. They conspired to, like, I think it was like they conspired to get the teams mad at NASCAR in a sense. Basically, that Curtis Polk himself was like running behind closed doors, calling up the teams, trying to essentially overhaul NASCAR in these negotiations last year for the charters and the new media rights deal or whatever it was, trying to hinder NASCAR from progressing on their own, and that the teams were essentially a monopoly themselves, ironically enough, or that Polk was trying to run a monopoly. I think that's the gist of it. Well, the news just came in a few minutes ago that Judge Bell of the NASCAR 2311 trial has dismissed NASCAR's countersuit against the teams, and then Jeff Gluck says if it goes to trial, the trial would now be only about whether NASCAR is a monopoly rather than also about if the teams conspired to illegally work together. So it's kind of a big deal. Obviously, there were settlement talks last week. It sounded like day one went really well. They actually progressed. There was a chance, but then day two happened and just collapsed, and still seems like we're heading towards December 1st. Yay. And we got to see this. You guys got to see this. There was some filing, right? And basically, they all had to agree to, when it came to trial, you got to have some ground rules, I guess. I don't know. I've been in a courtroom one time, jury duty. Yeah. But I guess they got to have ground rules for how this all works. And here were the terms. Just read them out. Not to make personal attacks against each other. Okay, that's fair. I would say that's fair. You don't want this getting personal so that when this thing ends, they hate each other for the rest of their lives. That fair point. Not to discuss or refer to cases where they opposed one another. Okay. I'm missing something because that just sounds so vague. And then the third one is the opposite of vague. Not to discuss the reasons behind Brian France's departure from NASCAR. What? Dude. I guess technically he's not involved in this, so why would you bring him up? But at the same time, why are we flipping back to him? And why are we not allowed? The reasons behind Brian France's departure from NASCAR is certainly a way to put it. Certainly a way to put it. Yeah. For those of you who do not know, Brian France was the CEO. He was the chairman of NASCAR, and he was removed from his role or took a leave of absence or resigned, whatever the terminology is, after he was arrested for, it was a DUI, and then he also had possession of drugs, I think. So, yeah, that's what reasons really means. So, I guess we don't need to go into that further. Hopefully he has gotten himself better as we're on the topic. I hope he's gotten help. I hope he's doing okay today. If he's off doing other business ventures, I hope he is living a good life. But just his name and that moment being brought up was a curveball. So, legal stuff, yay. Truck Series Championship preview thingy coming up.